discussed. And for you to give me this document this evening, and on the last page it says page 31 of 43, it's somewhat missing another 12 pages. So, you know, we really need to get this under control.
Well, it's not the one that I have.
Councilman Yee has. Thank you.
This whole debate was created because the State Controller's Office came to the town of Southeast last year and sharply criticized this town board as far as, amongst other things, the town attorney's duties. And when I researched this back last year and I looked at the numbers being the salary that the town attorney has incurred over last year, I was shocked. We're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 a year just last year. And then if you go back to 20 years, it adds up to a lot of money. And when the State Controller's report criticized the town attorney's duties, whether he's an independent contractor and or a salaried employee, they then referred that matter, as you know, to the state local retirement system for further review. This town board needs to act and use the State Controller's report as a guide, and not to use this RFP, which is basically the same thing we have now. It's the same RFP that's actually taken from the town north of us, the town of Patterson, which they have an issue with their town attorney. I want this town to be clean. I want the money spent in this town spent properly. The State Controller says that monies are going to be now referred to the retirement system to be further reviewed. That means this town board needs to act. Ms. Hudak, we don't need to keep back and forth with emails. We've discussed this time and time again during a work session. Notes should have been taken and further reviewed for this town board to act on it. For you to give me this RFP that mimics town of Patterson's legal representation, I don't want it here in the town of Southeast. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want the same legal matters, the same legal problems they had in Patterson here in the town of Southeast.
And I will tell you that this same RFP has been kicking around without any formal comment other than derogation by Councilmember Yee. And in fact, the last meeting that we had, there was a specific request made by Councilmember Yee that he was going to bring forth comments, specific comments, to me and at the next meeting, and it was brought up that these comments should be really brought out ahead of time, because really what we're trying to be is a cooperative board. Despite all the bickering, as been said, we should be a cooperating board. There is no doubt about it. So my answer to Councilmember Yee is, once again, you have failed to provide anything but political rhetoric at a town board meeting where it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be politicians at this meeting. What we should be is functioning members of a functioning, competent town board. This has been kicking around because there's been no formal input. There's only been political input. And in fact, there was an email that was circulated to us by one of the town constituents, Jacob Gambino, who's now up at the podium, and he specifically asked, "Dear Supervisor Rights and Southeast Town Board members," he requested this. He requested that things happen before so that we could have a healthy debate that helps the town and doesn't end up in politics. And it hasn't happened every single time. I've presented it. The supervisor has given comments tonight. Fine, circulate them. Let's do something for the town and not for any political aspirations. It upsets me just as much as any of you that this is precisely what happens. But so be it. At this point in time, as far as, and by the way, as far as Patterson and their political problems or their issues, I have no idea. I presented a document. I've gotten nothing, no feedback from anyone, no positive feedback from anyone other than Council Members Cullen and Gross, and then the rest is just the same picking. So what I would ask once again is to give constructive commentary about the existing RFP. Constructive commentary, which will then be followed through. I've heard some commentary tonight from the supervisor. And oh, by the way, the supervisor has in his hand a copy. Nancy Kalbfeld made the copies tonight. I had copies that had pages 31 through or 38 through 43. I asked Ms. Kalbfeld to do that this evening. She made the copies this evening. There's a problem with the copies? I don't know. All I know at this point in time, and I'm not I'm not blaming Nancy, because I know mine has those pages in there. But the bottom line is, come on, everybody, let's do something constructive. Let's do something cooperatively and get this off the dime.
We have a motion and a second.
No, I think there's someone at the podium, and I would like that person
sharing
to
the
speak
meeting,
as a
Ms. Mayor.
constituent.
Well, Ms. Hudak,
Yeah, I know, I don't, but you know, the answer is that you can't
We
pick
can
and
move on.
choose, can't pick and choose who should be speaking at these meetings.
Ms. Hudak,
And
not
there's someone
recognized by
there.
the chair.
I-
Go ahead.
And
Yeah,
it's part
well,
of the discussion.
I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm Jake Gambino, town resident. Thanks, Mike, I got it from here, Mike. Mike, I got it from here, thanks.
Could you start over? I didn't get it.
My name's Jake Gambino, town resident, and I just want to make something really clear to everyone out there since the work sessions aren't being taped anymore. I was here 3 weeks ago at a work session, and my colleague Greg Azzaretti came up to the microphone and asked you to prepare these, these comments 3 weeks ago. And I don't care how busy you are. If you have 3 weeks to prepare these comments, you can read 38 pages. And I'm sick and tired of hearing Dwight say he has these comments and he has these things jotted down, but it was the one-sided version. No, it's a two-sided version.
let's not-
I'm angry about this, Michael. I seriously am. I'm tired of this. I come here.
watch your tone.
This has been. Don't tell me to fix my tone. How about you do your job? How about Dwight Yee does his job? How about he come here and you come here
sir.
with comments prepared? How about you email? No, don't tell me to watch my tone, Michael. Look at me. Both of you, look at me.
Could you answer your question, please? Could you pose a question for us, please?
Yeah, my question is, what were your comments that you said 3 weeks ago you had? Tell me one of them, Dwight. Can you? No, you can't, because they don't exist.
Your comments are noted. Thank you.
No, I don't care about my comments. I care about Dwight's comments. Does he have any comments? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Sir, your comments are noted. Thank you.
Oh, Dwight, do you have anything jotted down from 3 weeks ago? No, I'm not done, Michael. Michael, I'm not done.
We have another person.
That's great, but he's my colleague, and I'm sure he'll yield to me, okay? All right, so I don't think he's going to take issue with it. Dwight, do you have any comments on Liz Hudak's? She circulated it 2 weeks ago at the work session and made the Patterson correction. You're not going to talk me down tonight, Mike. You're not going to talk me down.
Comments are noted.
No, I don't care if they're noted. I'm asking Dwight a question. And are you going to answer? I'm giving you the time to answer right now. Here you go.
Gambino, your comments are noted.
Dwight Yee not answering another comment.
Move on.
Just let the record show that I made comments and Dwight has nothing even on his one-sided version, two-sided version, page 38, page 43, whatever. He's got nothing.
Mr. Supervisor, I will not be treated like this.
Yeah, you're going to be because you don't do anything. You don't bring any commentary. You don't bring anything.
Mr.
Thanks, Dwight.
Please go ahead.
Thanks, Mike.
Greg, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to the comments that Jake's had regarding my request 3 weeks ago. Just to refresh anyone watching at home or someone who wasn't at the meeting, just to refresh their memory here, let them know that 3 weeks ago at the work session, I did bring up the issue to the town board that this has been an issue that's been dragging on for months and months and months since late 2010. 3 weeks ago when it was brought up, yet again, the consensus was that we discuss it later on in the week. We discuss it again at the next work session, next meeting, and I respectfully request the town board to prepare comments before the next work session so we could have constructive dialogue about it. Yet again, that wasn't done, and I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone. I'm holding the entire board accountable, but it seems like there's certain people that are actually making comments and trying to produce an RFP, and there's certain people that are stalling that. Now, earlier in the evening, as Mr. Bach pointed out, we proved that by having economic competition in the town, we can save the town money. And this RFP, as requested by the state comptroller's response, which the supervisor, it's his Bible this year, the economic competition, which provides the savings for the town, is something that we're looking for. However, it seems that in this specific case, not every case, but this specific case for an RFP, there's certain members of the town dragging their feet to provide that economic competition to save the town money. And I think it's offensive towards the town, the lack of effort that's put into this. And I'm not trying to get as excited as Jake was. I'm just officially asking again, this time on camera, if the town board, before the next meeting, when I hope this will be discussed, there will actually be commentary and dialogue between the town board members to provide an effective RFP to the legal services of this town, instead of this political back and forth that goes on that obviously isn't producing anything, And I just want to, and I'm finished, but just a side note, I want to point out that the supervisor and Councilman Yee haven't looked at me once the entire time I'm speaking. And they've actually been whispering. So I think again, this is an offensive action by town board members that they obviously don't care what a citizen has to say.
The comments are noted, sir. The comments are noted, sir. There's a motion and a second before the board with respect to the RFP designated January 2011 as I amended. There's a second. Roll call vote, please, Ruth.
And can I have a copy of those amendments, Michael?
Sure.
Yeah, I can, but I don't remember everything you said right now.
You want to
so
read the amendments again?
Sure. Substitute the word Town of Southeast for the Town of Patterson throughout the document. Set the salary not to exceed the supervisor's annual salary. And on page 22, to delete the proximity provision with respect to the Town of Southeast, so we can choose an attorney elsewhere, or at least solicit attorneys, invite bids from attorneys who are not residents of the Town of Southeast, as is a routine practice throughout the county and, as far as I know, throughout the state. So with those amendments, that was the RFP as proposed and seconded.
Okay, Councilman Cullen?
I need more time to review this, so I'm voting no at this time.
Councilwoman Hudak?
No, as I said before, if you want a town attorney, the town attorney must reside in the town.
Councilman Yee?
No.
Councilman Gross?
No.
Supervisor Wrights?
Yes, motion defeated, 4 votes to 1. Now, I would like to make a motion, to adopt the RFP as proposed and issued tonight by Councilwoman Hudak, dated April, which is issued April 2011. Is there a second? There's no second.
I mean, if I could just say, I just received this like you did, Michael, so I don't know what else is different, so I need, time to look this over. It is 40, I have the whole 43 out of 43 pages. I can't vote on something that I was just handed.
And just
Well,
for-
Bob, your colleague, Councilwoman Hudak, is the one who promulgated it.
I know, but she just gave it to me, so I don't care who gave it to me.
Just for
I
the
need time to
record,
review
the
it.
only thing that's changed is the corrections of the Pattersons, and there was one Patterson that still crept through. So that being said, other than that, Councilman Cullen, there were no changes.
All right.
I do know,
Councilman Cullen.
I do
All right,
know-
then taking Councilman Hudak's word for that, then I will vote yes on what she just handed me today, if the only changes were the fact, because I have reviewed it.
Bob, are
in the
you
text.
seconding?
I'll
Ruth asked a
second.
question if you're seconding.
Yes, I'll second it then.
Okay, thank you. Roll call vote, please, Ruth.
Councilman Cullen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak?
Yes?
Councilman Yee?
No.
Councilman Gross?
Yes.
Supervisor Wrights?
Yes, motion carries 4 votes to
Yes.
1. So what we have, folks,
Wait,
after a
Did you say
directive
no,
by
yes?
the,
Michael, did you say no or yes?
Yes.
I said yes, Ruth, and
Okay,
the
so it is
proposal
4 to
has
1.
passed.
Now,
Thank
the
you.
only problem is...
Thank you. Pardon me, Councilwoman Hudak, I have the floor. Thank you. After a direction by the New York State Comptroller's Office, we finally have an RFP, which is not a contract, for a town attorney who's been making, in round numbers, $250,000 for many years with no economic competition. And the proposal that we have, as stated earlier, is a clone of the RFP issued by the town of Patterson, which, as we all know, was represented for years by the former Senator Vincent Libel's law firm. But if that's progress in Southeast, if that's the best, that this board can do and have a consensus, then in compliance with the New York State Comptroller's mandate, that's where we are.
I think the one problem, though, is that we didn't fill in the salary part, so, that might be something that we should all consider. So I think as passed, it's going to be a blank, so that should be pretty exciting to see what the RFPs come in. But that being said, it should be duly noted that there really was no input from Councilmember Yee, who voted no. And that's kind of sad. But that being said, the correction will be made in Patterson. I would ask that my